Good evening and welcome to another segment of the Scribbler Publishing Group's podcast series we're calling Youngstown Under Siege. I'm Bertram Souza, retired editorial page editor and Sunday columnist for the now closed Youngstown Vindicator and author of No Holds Barred, a book dedicated to the 150-year-old newspaper. Tonight we have three special guests who will discuss a unique and creative solution to what has been an intractable problem in the Mahoning Valley: children at risk because of their dysfunctional home lives. Our guests will be introduced by my co-host, Cynthia Rickard. Last week, we launched the Youngstown Under Siege online series with Youngstown Mayor Tito Brown, Police Chief Carl Davis, and several community activists. You can watch that segment on WFMJ.com, scribblergroup.com, on Facebook and YouTube. Tonight's live video podcast is being streamed on WFMJ.com and other platforms. Viewers can submit questions and comments through our Facebook page or YouTube channel or by emailing youngstownviolence@gmail.com.
I'm Cynthia Rickard, retired regional and online editor of the Youngstown Vindicator and editor of the book No Holds Barred. Tonight we provide an answer to the question we posed last week: what can be done to address the violence in Youngstown that's placing our children at risk? Our guests are Judge Teresa Delick of the Mahoning County Juvenile Court, who is joining us via Zoom, and Jennifer Merritt, Superintendent of the Mahoning Valley Community School, and Pastor Lewis Macklin, a member of the MVCS board, who are with us in the studio. They, along with other Concerned Valley residents, are moving forward with a project they're calling the Community Learning Center. The center will be housed in a permanent building to be built on Youngstown's south side. We'll delve into the reasons our guests believe this project is of utmost importance to the Valley. We'll also talk about the services that will be available at the center and the cost of constructing and operating it. All three of our guests, Judge Delick, Ms. Merritt, and Pastor Macklin, have spent many years taking care of the least among us and young people who are falling through the cracks. Thank you for joining us tonight on this important issue.
All right, Judge and Jennifer and Pastor Macklin, this question is for all three of you. And because this is a podcast, there is no time, we're not time sensitive here. We'd like to keep this to an hour. But let me start by, first of all, congratulating you on the Community Learning Center initiative. After I've been writing about the problems confronting the Mahoning Valley for almost 40 years. And I'm heartened by this proposal. I truly am. So could each of you give us some insight into the thinking that went into the creation of this center, and also talk some more about the high school that began as the Mahoning County High School, through the effort of Judge Delick. So Judge, if you want to go first, and then we'll go with Jennifer and the pastor.
All right, well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate being here. The school was started, it opened in 2008, and it was started because at juvenile court we saw so many students coming to the court who were truant or who were in trouble during the day because they were not in school, and they had been expelled or suspended. Expelled and suspended students, that doesn't work. It works for them to be in school. And so the school was created to serve those students, because the best way out of poverty is with an education. And these students deserve that opportunity and deserve the ability to achieve that education. So it was started in 2008 to serve the entire county. This school serves all the public school districts, and the schools will send their students who are really what we call non-traditional, who just don't fit into the average school system or school class. The staff there is trauma-informed, they build resiliency, and they know how to deal and build supports and relationships with these students. And that's what these students need. They need a home, and they need to be around adults who are caring and supportive. And their families need to be too, because these are families also that don't want to pick up the phone when the school calls. But from Mahoning County High School, which is now Mahoning Valley Community School, they participate. We engage the parents, and we want this to be an education for all, and for all to benefit. So that's how it started. It started in 2008. In 2015, we were recognized by President Obama's administration and the Department of Justice and the U.S. Department of Education for our practices, our innovative ways, and our successes. And at this point now, we decided to keep expanding our services to meet the needs of our community, to meet the needs of our children, and to meet the needs of our family. So I'm going to leave it at that and let Ms. Merritt and Pastor Macklin talk a little bit too.
Okay, Jennifer, if you would sort of give us, the thinking behind what is being proposed. But first of all, how many students that had, been expelled from the quote regular school system or had failed, and sort of you all reached out to them, and ultimately they graduated with high school. How many have you graduated in the years that the high school has been in existence?
We've graduated hundreds of students, an exact number close to over 1,000 since 2008. Wow. We're designated as a dropout recovery and prevention program, so we have innovative techniques built into our curriculum, to our schedule. Everything is just very carefully planned out and thought out, and right down to the way we schedule blocks for students. So for example, a block schedule is a 4x4 schedule, and that was very strategically placed and implemented at the Mahoning Valley Community School because we look at fewer transitions. You have 85-minute blocks, and in one school year a student can potentially get 8 to 10 credits rather than just 6 or 7. It also gives our students the opportunity to feel success. So we have 4 courses the first semester. So rather than waiting an entire year and understanding that we have a population of students who sometimes are transient, they move, they relocate, they can get 4 to 5, 6 credits in one school semester and realize that success immediately rather than waiting an entire school year. So again, right down to the very scheduling that we've done, to the staff training like the judge mentioned, to every part of our day is carefully planned out around the population of students and their basic needs and the resources that they might need to be successful. And it comes down to removing those barriers to the academics.
So as far as this project is concerned, the new building that's to be built that will house the high school part and also wraparound services
Correct.
for students and parents and families, right?
Yes.
What was the genesis of that? How did that come? How did you all decide, we really need this?
So we, for quite some time, have been functioning already as a community learning center model. And basically what that is, it's a school that brings in resources but is for and by the community. It's grounded in theory. It's the collective efficacy theory that basically says that neighborhoods will support pro-social behavior, positive behavior, when they have a place to be to come and support them. So it's grounded in that theory, and there's much evidence and research that shows us that community learning center models effectively reduce youth violence in the areas in which they serve, but also improve outcomes for the youth. As well as the community, the family members. So we have the components to a community learning center model, but what we've realized along the way, we've had a partnership with Youngstown City Schools, right. And they reconfigured their district recently, which required us to relocate. So we have a smaller area in which we're providing services, which kind of shrunk our services. But we've known for quite some time that it's time to get a permanent location that can effectively support this model that we want to implement, bringing in the resources, the community resources, and making it available to more students in a permanent location so that we're there and we're consistent and we can provide as many services as we can.
And Pastor Matt, you've been involved in this for a long, long time, and you've been involved in the community, not only just Youngstown, but the greater Youngstown community, the Mahoning Valley. And you've seen the problems. You've seen the broken homes, the families with one adult in the home, children having children and all. Does this project that you're undertaking, would that be designed to sort of alleviate some of these problems that you've had to deal with over the years?
Absolutely. One of the privileges and blessings I've had is to be associated with the school because its name represents the very essence of why we're here. It's Mahoning Valley. It's dealing with all corners of our valley that's impacted by the same matters, the same issues. We discovered the reality, one size does not fit all. And so what we've been able to create in this model of excellence is opportunities for children and their families to realize and to experience in real time success, particularly for those who felt that failure was the only option. And so we're witnessing and observing the inroads that are being made. The best way I could probably tell you is you need to come to the graduations. That is probably one of the most telling experiences. The joy, when I say the joy, I mean the sheer joy of emotions of mothers and grandmothers, fathers who are seeing their child walk across the stage receiving a legitimate high school diploma. It's hard to put into words. You really have to witness it. To see them say, with cheering, celebrating, encouraging, because they realized the challenges they had to overcome to get them to that point. And you're talking about single parents that are graduates, young men and women who had interaction with systems that they didn't appreciate. They deal with loss of relatives, friends who they seen die by means of violence. And so they said, wait a minute, I made it. I've made it this far. And they cast a vision of hope. They're getting scholarships to go to college. They're going into service. They're having a second chances. Actually, I want to say another chance, because we all use our second chance. We don't know what that was. But they realized there's yet another chance. And when they once thought that it was hopeless, they find out that there is hope and there's help. And they're part of that helping, and they're part of that hopeful community that we speak of. And so that's why I think it's important that our school serves as a response to the concerns that our community has. I do believe that education is a passport for not only just for a person, but for a community to be lifted up and to be advanced. And so we need to make sure we're providing those educational opportunities, which is what we do, as to make sure that young people can be the best that they can, and they can actually see themselves beyond just what they only knew prior to coming to the school.
Judge, when you started the high school, and we had talked, and the Youngstown Vindicator supported you in that effort. I know you still remember some of the negative things we wrote about you, and you remind me of that constantly. But when we started this high school, there was an expectation that there were these kids who were, if they weren't there, they were going to be on the street, and therefore you needed to do something because you had dealt with this population of juveniles for a long, long time. How has the progress made in the school? Has it met your expectations? Has it gone beyond your expectations? And so are you encouraged about the future as far as the school itself goes?
I'm very encouraged, because what it has done, it has connected the bridge for these families and these students. Our official filing cases have decreased in juvenile court. We do not have as many as we had back in 2008. We see less and less students at our court for truancy cases. We see them less for offenses that occur during the day. So we see this as an effective diversion and intervention program, and that's why we support it. It does work, it does help. These students need a home, and I'm glad Reverend Macklin mentioned that this is just not a one area issue. This is a whole county. As a matter of fact, it's a tri-county issue.
Right.
I was just wondering about
Services-
that.
Yes, and the school service is Trumbull, Mahoney, and Columbiana County. So we're a rural, suburban, and urban school, and we meet these needs because these are needs that are universal and do not, identify with anyone particular. They are just basic needs families have.
So you have talked to the officials in these other counties, I assume, and I'm wondering how it's being received by them, since it's going to be in Youngstown and not in their counties.
Well, we've been based in Youngstown, Ohio, since 2008. Currently, they bus their students to us, and Jennifer can talk more about the specific schools, but they do. Importantly, too, I want everyone to know that this is a public school, not for profit. We are a not-for-profit school, and we are a public school. That makes it different because we are part of the public, and we're not here for money. We're here to serve, and we're here to help. and again, as Pastor said, provide hope.
I'm interested to know if you can talk a little bit about at-risk kids and how you identify them and how you approach these families to get them to enroll their kids in this school or agree to enrollment.
Anyway,
Actually, if I could speak to substance, many times because of the reputation of the school, families reach out to us because they want to be a part of a program that provides success. The reputation precedes itself, and it causes people. That's the best referral. Is someone to say, "Listen, we've had good experiences with this school. You need to consider it." And also, we have school districts that also understand the value of the school, and they make referrals as well. And so it's a wonderful partnership, and we're not in competition, and it's not a competitive situation. It is, again, that providing the right size education to a child and delivered in such a way that it's effective and that it doesn't impede the learning environment for other students.
Well, what makes a kid an at-risk kid? I mean, is it determined by their grades, their behavior, all of it, their parents' requests?
So I can answer that. And technically, I wouldn't say there's necessarily a specific definition of a child who would be considered at risk. It would just be any student who needs an additional support that isn't offered in their typical day or their typical school setting. And again, where we come in is many of our students have trauma, and trauma can be anything. Trauma can be a divorce. Trauma can be living with a parent with an addiction. Trauma can be seeing violence in the community or knowing somebody who was a victim of violence in the community. And the main thing that we can do for a child with trauma is put in place those protective factors that build resiliency. And what we do, that's just, again, built in naturally to our program. So as we're putting protective factors, caring, loving adults, that's one of the single most critical predictors of what's going to remove a child from their situation and put protective factors is a connected adult. So all of our staff receives the training on trauma-informed care, restorative practices. We're a non-suspension expulsion school, so we don't use those punitive methods of discipline, because by the time a child has come to us and is looking for a different education process, they've experienced enough adversity. They've had enough punitive measures put in place just by the sheer nature of the design of other systems. So we look to making sure that we're building those protective factors to remove those barriers and bring that child out of that cycle of trauma and have them build, again, resiliency.
Do they stay with you through their whole 4 years of high school once they're there, or do they sometimes refer back to their home district?
We can, in both. So the answer to that would be both. We've had students that have gone with us from 7th grade all the way to graduation. We've had students that have come for 6 months, 8 months. We teach them coping skills. We teach them, again, those protective factors, resiliency, and they're ready to transition back into their home schools. And like the judge said, we do provide services to students in 3 different counties. The districts bus the students to us, and it's just very different. And again, everything is so carefully planned out to ensure that each thing is considered. Fewer transitions. If a student, is struggling with trauma, large crowds might be an issue. Things like that, and all of that is built in with the understanding how our students are impacted and what would make them, just need a different setting. But again, with this pandemic, also, I would say many of our children are at risk who have never been at risk before for the symptoms of depression due to the isolation, the fear, the anxiety that this has brought, the loss of loved ones, illness in the family due to the pandemic has created an entire new population of students who could be considered at risk. And again, it's part of just building those protective factors in to build resiliency and assist them along the way.
So,
May I jump in real
go ahead,
quickly?
please,
At
please.
risk, just let me jump in and just say this. At risk does not mean, with juvenile court.
Right.
I don't know how many students are at the school that are involved in juvenile court, and I would say very, very few. So at risk does not mean you are a delinquent, you have
Right.
a juvenile case. It means you have needs that are not being met in the traditional setting or in the setting that you're in.
So let's talk specifically about the community center, the community learning center. In addition to education, what kind of services will be provided or are being provided will be provided in the new building, so that to meet the needs of the student population that you're serving. Judge, if you want to start, and then Pastor and Jennifer.
Well, number one, we already provide mental health services at
Right.
the current school. We have mental health counselors there, and the students can walk in at any time and see someone. When we talk about mental health, I think Jennifer did a great job talking about trauma, depression, anxiety. That's mental health. A lot of people associate mental health with schizophrenia, borderline. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the day-to-day anxiety and depression that everybody has, and our students have especially during this pandemic. We'll be providing medical, which we do already, dental, which we do already. We'll be including now vision, which is exciting for us because we know a third of our population that we serve is without vision care. We are working with workforce development, and I'd like Jennifer to expand more upon that because that was really one of her projects, and I think she ought to expand upon that. But we'll be housing child care programs, which we've had in the past, and enhanced school nutrition programs for the community because we know our students are also at risk nutritionally. They're malnourished. Youngstown's a food desert. We're the second largest food desert in the nation. Our students need healthy foods. They need to be taught healthy food habits, and they need to be provided them. So we're looking to provide round-the-clock needs that they have. And also services that will be provided to the community. And that's how this school gets its name. It's a community school. So these services will also be available to the community. And it's not just the community in which the building is sited, it's the entire area. Anyone who can drive there can access these services. So I'll turn it over to Jennifer to talk more about the workforce development.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Sure. So we recently partnered with Youngstown State University's Workforce Development Program, and the idea behind that is that every child needs an outcome. So we've realized over the past several years it's not enough just to have a student graduate, get a high school diploma, and then leave and go back out and not have a specific goal. So through that program and other partners, we're connecting every student. We just started with our past 71 graduates that we had this past year, and they'll be connected to a specific either education career path, whether it be a college career path, they will be connected to a specific outcome that we will see through the entire way and ensure that they get there. So that means paid apprenticeships through the workforce development program, pre-apprenticeships, connecting them with certificates that they need for the Manufacturing Skills Council certificate, whatever that outcome, and there's multiple assessments that we do with the students in what's called their student success plan, that we determine and work with the students and their family to find the best outcome, because we know that outcomes are going to improve their lives, the community overall, but we have to connect them to something very specific. Okay. So our goal is to have each child that graduates have a specific pathway that we can help see them through.
Can you talk a little bit more about the involvement of the family? What kind of outreach are you doing with the family in addition to the student?
Sure. So it's critical to involve any support system that our students have, whether that be guardians, parents, whoever can be involved. And often we have students with parents who are working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. They're going from one job to the next, and they're just taxed as far as those resources. So what this project does, the Community Learning Center, the staff, everybody is helps access those resources for the students. So we have family nights at the school. We bring in catered dinners, we bring the families in, we do student-led conferences. So when parent-teacher conferences come up, those are student-led. The students have a portfolio and they sit with their family and the teacher circulates. So rather than showing up for parent-teacher conferences in a traditional way to hear all the negative things that might be happening, the student has a showcase and a portfolio and the teacher comes through. So it's very student-driven and led, again, through positive means and measures. So the family is also seeing the success that the student has. And the judge had mentioned, a lot of time the parents of our students have had negative experiences at school. They've had negative experiences out in the community for whatever reason, and they don't want to be there either. So we want to make sure that it's an inviting situation, that the students, again, everything is positive, so that the students and their families can have success, because sometimes it's the only academic success that they've had.
But, Pastor Malcolm, you've worked many years in the Black community, and so know well the problems confronting the community. In addition to the violence and all of this other stuff, the home lives of young people and all of that. The services being provided by the center. Talk to us about that. Well, is there a need to expand those to even greater outreach? Because the demand seems to be increasing by the year instead of decreasing.
It does, and I think what we're finding is that the establishment of creative partnerships is what's going to be the mainstay of the community center. It's looking to identify what are needs of the community and tailoring it to meet the needs of that community. That's why the naming is so important. The label is very important. We talked about at risk, where really this is really going to be at promise, where families have hope, they have access to services in real time, because as Jennifer stated, sometimes parents are been traumatized by their own educational experience. They don't want to go to parent-teacher conference day because they remember what their parent-teacher conference experience was like. And so they have these aversions that have never been addressed. And so now they need to know that there is an environment that will meet them where they're at to get them where they're trying to go together. So you don't leave the student behind or the family behind, but we're moving everybody together. And so what we're finding is that as we're making services available, word of mouth is one of those great opportunities, because when people hear what's available, they share the information with others, and those others take advantage of it. And that's one of the blessings we've had of our success, is when folks hear about what's available, what are the options available, when they hear about the workforce available, when they hear about the community of this educational environment is different from their experiences. And then folks, they buy into it, and then they support it. We don't have incidences of violence or fighting in the school because we do the creative mediation and conversation. They learn how to cope and adjust and to negotiate themselves so that they can get the type of outcomes that they're seeking, which is to be independent, to be educated, to be successful, and they're getting that. It is a process, so it doesn't have that negative connotation of it being a correction or a behavioral school. It's really a community school of the village to say we're going to embrace you in a movie where we all know that you can be, and we can't do that without taking the whole family. And that's why we're looking at the whole picture. That's why you're looking at child care, because if grandmother is working, she don't have time to watch the baby, and then while you go to school. And so we try to remove all the barriers or the excuses or the reasons that folks feel justified saying, I can't do this. We say you can. Guess what? That's not an issue. That's not your challenge today. And so we create an environment, again, that wraps around and supports them, nurture, but doesn't enable them to simply say I can or I need to. Because as you start to empower them, you also start to step back to allow them to start to sail and to fly. And we witness that. And again, I go back to graduation. I wish we had some footage, because I literally come from the experience that graduation should be a real somber, sacred moment. Then I've come to the conclusion these mothers and fathers are not going to be silent, because they're witnessing what other folks never thought their child would do. And so it is robust. It is exciting. It is jubilant. And so I've come to expect that now. And so that's one of the graduations where I don't expect, just to walk across the stage, please hold your applause until, no, you're not going to you're going to see balloons, you're going to hear, because they're saying, listen, my baby made it. You're going to get the chants, you're going to get the waves, you're going to get everything. But you know what? It's a celebration that the community has to celebrate and share with them.
How many students and even parents and family members and all are being served? I don't know what kind of time frame you use, but give us some numbers so that our viewers can get an idea as to what sort of effort is being made.
So I would start probably by saying thousands have been. I've been there since 2009, and I can tell you thousands of students who have either come through for credit recovery, who have graduated, who have been with us a short period of time. It's well into the thousands no doubt. Each year we have about 150 to 200 students direct enrolled, another 100 students that we share services with districts. So, and that, again, that number fluctuates, whether they transition back in, they receive their credits. We have students who graduate mid-year in January because of the semester basis. And so if they're done, we're not going to continue to hold them there and risk a student dropping out. We're going to give them their high school diploma, issue that to them in January when the semester changes, when they're finished. And again, that's one of the beauties of the block schedule, because they can realize that success. They, you know, I've been here since August, and in January, suddenly I have 5 credits. And where I came in and I'm 18 years old and I had 0. So that is a huge motivator.
Are the wraparound services available to non-students?
Yes.
So anybody in the community who's in need
Yes.
can actually come to you and say, you know, my child has never had an eye exam or dental exam, or, you know, we don't have food in the house. Can they do that?
Most definitely, and that's, we have parents who access our clinical counselor. Over the summer last year during the pandemic, our counseling services were offered remotely. We have parents who access those services. A lot of times our clinical counselors will go in the home and work with an entire family based on the need of the students and the support level that's needed, and that's all provided through the school. So, and again, that's the whole, we've been a community learning center model for quite some time, but the idea now is moving forward. We know that we need a permanent home, and we need a place to expand our services and put even more in place.
So there will be the possibility of expansion in the future as you grow?
Most definitely.
With the new building?
We would absolutely welcome more partners as long as it benefits the community. It's an absolute win-win for everybody.
Okay, before we talk about the partners and everybody else involved, you know, I'm almost reluctant to bring this up because this is such a positive thing, but I know Judge would be disappointed if I didn't. You know, Judge, you spent a lot of time, and I know this because I was involved with you in the creation, the possibility of creating a boarding school. I being a product of boarding school, and you having you know, familiarity with Washington, D.C. and other areas. But unfortunately, the pushback from so-called some so-called black leaders towards the boarding school concept, and then also a misunderstanding. Some thought it was, you know, it was sort of a place where you're going to throw everybody in behind bars. There was a lot of misunderstanding, but some in the black community thought that you were overstepping your bounds as juvenile court judge into, you know, proposing this boarding school idea. And we can talk about that later, but for now, have you had, what kind of response have you gotten from the community to this community learning center and the need for a new building, a permanent building? To give us some of that interaction in the community.
Well, number one, it's been a positive response, and we keep getting more and more partners, which our community needs. As Jennifer said, as long as the community partners meet the needs of the community, then they're welcome. I mean, this is what we need for our community, for partners in our community, collaborate and provide for each other, and that's how we build community. On a brief note for the boarding school, that boarding school was decided because we had so many homeless students. And we still do at Valley Community School. We still have students. We have students who ride the bus after school all day, all night, and sleep at the bus station. That's no way for a child to grow up.
Could you repeat that?
Yes, I said we have students who have ridden the bus after school all day, all night, and then when it finally comes to a stop at WRTA, they sleep in the station. And then they get on the bus in the morning and they come to our school. That's no way for a student to grow up.
Why is that happening? What is their home life like that they're doing that?
Probably Jennifer could speak to it more because she sees it on a daily basis. But these are students whose families need help and support. I have never met a parent who didn't want the best for his or her son or daughter. I've never met a parent who did not want his or her child to succeed. And I've never met a parent who didn't love his or her daughter. But sometimes we can't do those things because we're dealing with our own trauma, we're dealing with our own issues. And I have to tell you, before you fix others, you have to fix yourself, right? And our students fall between the cracks, not because of lack of love, not because of lack of trying, but just because of an inability. So we have students that happens to. We have students, I know Monsignor Macklin, Major Monsignor.
Oh my gosh.
You've been promoted.
Be bishop by the end of this podcast.
I can see the halo already.
No. All right, anyways, but Pastor, I know one time you took one of our students in, and you found a home for one of the students. You know this problem head on too. And so that's why we want the boarding school. We're not to take children out of their homes. We're trying to give them homes.
Yes.
We're trying a safe place to live and a safe place for them to go at night. That's all we want.
Yeah, a nurturing, loving environment, and that was not understood or did not want to be understood. So
a lot of people did understand it, but there was a handful that did not.
Right.
It takes education, it takes communication, and it takes understanding. And that didn't happen. And, we're still looking down the road for that to happen. Of course, it would be based upon need. We're not going to do it if there's not a need for it.
Right.
So anyway, this has been well received. We talked about it and people are excited. And then with us being able to expand the services and make it more readily available, that's what we need. Again, this is all about building community. We have to stop, locking ourselves in the house and being afraid of everyone. We have to make sure we become one. And I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer and Pastor Macklin, soon to be a bishop.
Yeah, Jennifer, put the story the judge just told about this child riding the bus all day and all night and then sleeping. I mean, in this day and age, and that's why Cindy and I, who are veteran journalists, have seen the worst of society and actually covered it. Even we were surprised to hear that that's happening today. Why?
It absolutely is happening, and I'll expand for 1 second about
Please.
that story. So when we became aware that was that child's circumstances, that child was a student at our school, when we realized that is exactly what was happening, and you could tell, there were signs as far as, the same clothes, hygiene, that type of thing, and access to resources. So when we realized that's what was happening, we brought that individual in and put them on like a student payroll. And the maintenance person came in at 2 o'clock in the morning, and he said, be here at 2 o'clock. Your job starts at 2 o'clock in the morning. So that we knew that student had a safe place to be. So as soon as the maintenance arrived, that individual came in. We put them on we have a system that we can employ student workers. So we gave him a job, let him get cleaned up, shower, made sure all the resources were available at the building. And that is not just a one, like, oh my goodness, that's just such a rarity. I can think of 5, 10, 15 students right now who are staying with friends, who are living on couches, who are moving from house to house. And again, just like the judge said, it's not because somebody doesn't love and care for this child. They may have a lack of resources too. The parent may be staying somewhere else, and they can only go, it's just me, you have to find your own place. And it's not because our parents don't love and care for it. It's resources, it's access. For quite some time, we were the highest poverty area in the United States. Just the availability of secure housing is huge. The pandemic made that 10 times worse, and maybe 100 times worse. But that story is not unique. What happens and follows up is what we do to address it. But I can think of, like I said, 10, 15 students who are moving from house to house to house, and the parent responsible for the child may also be moving from house to house to house. So I can stay here, but I can't take you. You're going to have to find your own place. And it's very common, and way more common, I think, than we.
Why is this happening, Pastor? Because in the old days, the churches, especially in the city of Youngstown, addressed these issues. I mean, I've been here 40 years, so I covered a lot of this in the early days, when you had pastors of the large churches, significant churches, well-known churches, who would actually intervene when they found out about situations like this. Why is this going on today?
I'm going to suggest that as the Bible says, despise not even small beginnings. And this is not to pat myself on the back, but homelessness is around us. We just have to be sensitive and recognize it. One of the places that you'll find, we found for homelessness havens are the public libraries. And our family took in a family because my wife discovered that the children were going to the library. When it closed at 8 o'clock, they didn't have no place to go. And so we took the family in, the whole family. I'm talking about the whole family. The mother, the father, and the children. They had no place to go. And predatory lending resulted in the fact that they got evicted from the home. And then even when they got back into the home, there was still more challenges with the residents. That's why I believe the village concept is important, that we have to wrap around and support and meet folks where they're at. Not be judgmental, not how did you get here, or why did you do something different. Just the reality is the poor will always be with us. We don't have to tolerate and create conditions that keep them impoverished. And do what we can when we can. And so you'll find that staff, when they see there's a need, they're sensitive to it and they address it. And they do it in a way in which a family and a person maintain their dignity. And I think that's what's critical, not just simply doing things, but allowing them to see the success of their own ability. I'll never forget the one family we had taken in. About a month later, the father calls me. He says, "God is good. God is good." And I'm like, "Oh, he was talking about he's getting a job and everything." He said, "Yeah, I went to court today and I didn't get sentenced." Huh? It never dawned on me. I was like, oh, like, what was he going to court for?
Yeah.
You know, but God gave us a sense of this is what you need to do, and he took care of whatever that was for the family and for us. We don't have a lot. We don't come from a mega church, but we have a great God that allows us to do what we can do. And I always tell people, do what you can. And as a community school, we do what we can, when we can, how we can. We find creative ways to meet needs, employ students. During the summer, to give them the skills, to give them work ethic, to give them resources so they're able to say, hey, I can do these things. And then they come back and give back to the community. So they just don't just say I'm an alumni of the school. They actually say that I'm part of the school. They consider themselves part of that family long after graduation.
So why, with all of the social service agencies, both governmental and non-governmental, and all of the money that is spent on these social services, why is it that there were no red flags, for example, on this particular family you were talking about in the library, that there were no red flags early on to say, okay, we've got a problem here. These people are going to lose their home, they're going to lose everything. Intervention is needed, help is needed. Where's the system breaking down here?
Again, I think many families are very cautious because they're concerned about they're losing resources. The last thing they want to lose their family. They're struggling to hold on to what they have. What we consider is dysfunctional, it's functional to them. And so it's working. And so what happens is when we don't see those flags, because oftentimes they conceal them. They work toward, what happens in our house stays in our house. You don't tell your problems. And these children perform under duress. Even though they realize they may not have a home to go to, when they're in school, that's a safe haven. And you might find them right on, because a young family, your children were on point academically. And they were like, wow, we didn't even know this happened. Why? Because the family didn't necessarily want that known. And even sometimes the children don't even realize, because again, what may be obviously dysfunctional to us is not to them, because it's they're normal. Yeah. And so we have to meet them where they're at.
It's working for them.
Yep.
Right.
So it's working for them. They're getting by. They're able to function with that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to interrupt you, Pastor, but it's not dysfunctional. It's what's functioning for them. It works.
Most
But
definitely.
it works for them, but living in a library isn't working.
Right.
Sleeping on a bus isn't working. I mean, in their minds, they might be doing well, but they actually aren't, right?
They're getting by.
But our survival skills kick in.
They're
And for a
getting
lot
by,
of our
yeah.
families, for a lot of those students, they're surviving. They're in survival mode. Again, much different than what we think is okay. They're figuring out the mechanisms and the navigation to survive. And so a lot of times that's just what they're used to.
We're looking for the optimum, and they're looking for getting by.
Absolutely. We've had so many students who come in and overwhelmingly, as soon as they get to us, what do you want to do? What are your goals? I just want to live until I'm 18. Miss, I
Wow.
don't even know if I'm going to make it. So if I can just be alive at graduation, if I can make it.
There
So
have been
we start-
students who have said that to you?
Most definitely, often,
Wow.
way more often than we would think. They come into us with no hope because they're just so used to surviving. And our goal and what we do is make sure that they have hope and they have outcomes and they start to believe again in themselves and the family believes.
Over the years, we've done so many stories about kids being rescued from cars where their parents are ODing. I'm just wondering how much of an issue is drug use by parents in the kids that you're dealing with?
Judge?
It exists. I also think prostitution among our parents exists. And when I talk about these issues, and all the viewers, please know, I'm talking about all of our communities in the Valley. I'm not talking about one segment or about one anything. This is something that is pervasive. This is nothing that is one group of people own it. So when I talk about, we have mothers who prostitute themselves and their children. We have children who are selling drugs to support the family. These are things that are happening, that's going on right now while we're talking. These are things, they're trying, all of these families are trying to exist. And that's what they can do. As Jennifer said, it's their survival. So all I can do is, like Pastor said, don't judge, just help. And give hope.
How do you help families where there is prostitution and drug use at home? What happens with these kids? Because you're sending them back into those homes, obviously.
First thing we do is we contact Children's Services, and I'll let Jennifer deal with it because she's dealing with it administratively in the school setting.
So, depending upon the situation, of course, but it's connecting to resources. It's connecting to those necessary resources, removing those barriers, and making sure, again, we're building those protective factors that then in turn build resiliency and make the student be able to survive and function and have better outcomes. It's changing those outcomes, and that's what this model does, different from just a typical, our school systems are overwhelmed just with curriculum and everything that they need to do. They also are dealing with pandemics and mental health needs and support needs. So we are very specific to making sure those access to resources are available for the students to ensure that they have a different outcome.
All right, so the judge mentions prostitution, where the female and the mother in the house is prostituting herself, and she's got kids. Over the years, I have attempted, when the Youngstown Indicator was still publishing, to get from the Youngstown City School system a list of at-risk children from homes that were putting these kids in danger, and nobody would provide them. And so when we had the podcast last week and we talked to the mayor and the police chief, the mayor mentioned something that both struck us in the eye. And he said, we've been trying to get that information, but the school system won't share it with us. So we know these things are occurring in the community, and not just Youngstown, but the broader community. But if you can't get that information, if people like you on the front lines can't get that information to do something, what happens? This thing continues? These behaviors continue?
So I would say we typically find that out through connected relationships. That information eventually comes out, and it may be simply that the school system doesn't have specific data on that. We track attendance, behaviors, and grades. That would be what we would call our early warning system. So we look for students who are struggling in those specific areas, and those are the students who we know we need to immediately support in our building, and the judge has, through the juvenile court, an early warning system model in place with many of our school districts. But not necessarily would a school system track, oh, this child is, a victim of abuse, this child, sometimes they don't even have that information, but we get that information just through those connected relationships, because when there's a caring, trusting adult, oftentimes that student's going to come to that person for help. And if the person is trained with trauma-informed practices, if they are aware and they just listen and build that rapport with the student, most often that information comes out.
I'll just
Go
give
ahead.
you a little example. Oh, go ahead.
No, Judge.
I was just going to give a little example about relationships. I remember 2 students, they would not take off their jackets at school. And the teachers would say, this is a different school than we got them, but take off your jackets, take off your jackets. And the boys would not take off their jackets. So they were suspended. They would not take off their jackets, we found out, because their shirts were dirty. Their mother did not have a washing machine or a dryer and could not wash them. And they told us, because we had a relationship with them, that they were afraid to let school officials know that they had dirty shirts because they were afraid their mother would be charged and they would be taken into CSP custody. So they did not want to put their mother at risk, and they did not want to live in foster care. So they wore dirty shirts every day. But you have a relationship with a caring adult who notices these things, and instead of saying, why are you wearing a dirty shirt? Why won't you take off your jacket? Instead of saying, what can I do to help? And then looking at the situation and not judging, but evaluating and saying, what's going on here? And the students opened up. We were able to get a washing machine for that family. Of course, we don't want children taken into CSP care. We want children with their families, with their parents, brothers and sisters. Foster care is a system. It's not a family. So that was an easy solution on that situation. So Jennifer, when she talks about these relationships, those are the relationships we talk about, where you get to know somebody. Why are they wearing long sleeves in the summer? Because we're being abused. And they have black and blue marks up and down their arms.
Okay, we've got 7 minutes left, and
Okay,
I know the judge is very protective of her time, so and we just don't want this to last beyond an hour. But talk about, as we close, talk about the partners you have been able to bring in, because they are deserving of public recognition, who are working with you, on this project, on this building. And sort of that kind of relationship that you've built with them, so that perhaps it will inspire others to say, we want to be part of this. So whoever wants to start, go ahead and speak for as long as you want. I'm not going to close the clock on you, but
he's only going to cut me off. But go ahead.
That's right.
go ahead.
Sure. So I can start. So when we started talking about a building project, we asked for letters of support, community support. That kind of blossomed into other partnerships and other critical contributions, critical support. So 2 of those I'll start off. So Congressman Tim Ryan, we wrote a project cash request under the federal earmark process through Congressman Ryan, and it was approved. So it's currently going through the process, but that was specific to enhanced school nutrition, technology, curriculum, social emotional learning in the building, community learning center resources, after school tutoring, I'm reading here, community outreach, on-site child care program. So Congressman Ryan supported us. That project, like I said, was approved and is going through the process.
How much is it?
$850,000.
Okay.
For operations.
May I also throw in that when Congressman Johnson saw that it was before Congress, he then put his support in too. So it was bipartisan, and that's hard to remember. This is bipartisan. Go ahead, Jennifer.
The additional, we received another $850,000 in TANF dollars from Senator Ruley's budget. So again, when we reached out and our leaders understood what we were doing in the mission, it was supported, like the judge said, through bipartisan support. So another $850,000 in operations and TANF dollars through Senator Ruley's budget. Mercy Health is a committed partner. We partner with Akron Children's, OSU Extension, Sight for All, which is the vision care, the dental van already through Mercy Health, medical services through Mercy Health. So we partner now with Resource Mothers. We partner with Centering Pregnancy. Again, Mercy Health partnerships. I don't want to leave anybody out. I know we have a long list.
Youngstown State University.
Yes,
Jennifer.
well, absolutely. I did mention Youngstown State University. We're one of their pilot programs for their workforce development. We just, again, I think the community and realizes the need for this and how impactful it can be. And like I had said before, it is research evidence-based that it effectively reduces youth violence in the areas that it serves. Our after-school program will be intensive as far as providing enrichment, food services, any type of resources our students need after the school day. We run all summer long. So we support the summer work program through Job and Family Services. We're a major site for that in partnership with Juvenile Court. And then we run summer school from the day we stop our regular school day until the day we start. So again, those services are just there continuously. It's not just a school program, it's a community-based program connecting
So what more
everyone.
do you need? Because first of all, give us a number as to what's going to be the cost of this, building the new building and doing everything else, furnishing it, all of the kind of stuff, and then providing the services. What kind of budget are we talking about, Judge? Because perhaps there's somebody who's watching who's going to write a check for you. So.
Well, not for me, please. I'm not allowed to accept.
All right.
Make that clear. So anyway, you know what? We're dreaming big. We're dreaming big.
Go ahead.
I'd like to 100,000 square feet building to house all these, and so it would cost approximately $30 million. We have people who are interested and have said we have their support. Youngstown Business, the Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber,
Right.
is supporting our capital project with our government next year, because next year is a capital budget. They are also supporting our request because we're putting in a request for them. We've been talking to the Department of Mental Health for the state of Ohio, and we're looking to secure their funding. 21st Century grants, we're looking to secure that funding, and I've worked with Youngstown State University. So we have a lot of partners who are helping us raise this money, but the school will be launching a capital campaign.
And Pastor, finally, the history of this region, especially after the closing of the mills, the Ministerial Alliance, the coalition of churches, they all came together and came forward and said, okay, we've got 50,000 people who are unemployed because of the mills closing. And they sort of did community programs and all of that, help in the homes of people who had been laid off. But they also decided that they needed to take the initiative to help, turn the community around economically. Do you believe with your presence that it will inspire other pastors, other men and women of God, other clergy to step forward and say, this is a project we can all embrace because it is God's work, right?
Absolutely. I believe in the Apostle Paul made it clear. He said, one water, one plant, but God gives the increase. I think all of us have something we can do and should do to participate in the building of this, not only this center, but the building of the lives. And so it's an opportunity for us to all to do what we can, how we can. I'm convinced that the old adage that if you teach a man how to fish, you will allow him to eat.
Right.
But I also believe if you teach that man also how to sell a fish, he might want to have a steak instead. I'm just saying. So I believe we can empower our community in the faith. The faith community has to be the visionary. I'm going to say without a vision,
Right.
people perish. So we have to show folks that we can do it. We can reinvent ourselves. We can recover, and we can expand and advance and develop in such a way that we can have a steak every now and then. Sorry to the vegans out there.
Thank you. Go ahead, Cindy. Cindy will do the close for us now.
We've now come to the end of this live online broadcast. We thank Juvenile Court Judge Teresa Delick, Mahoning Valley Community School Superintendent Jennifer Merritt, and Pastor Lewis Macklin for their insight into the challenges confronting the young people and their families in the Mahoning Valley and a solution they've proposed. The third segment of Scribbler Publishing Group's Youngstown Under Siege podcast will be aired on Sunday, September 26th from Ween Park in downtown Youngstown, where Action is hosting a community rally. The event is aimed at putting the spotlight on the violence that has gripped the city of Youngstown. Action is encouraging city residents to attend the 4 p.m. rally and talk about what it's like to live in crime-infested neighborhoods. Public officials, including office holders, will be on hand to respond to their concerns. In closing, we thank Robert McFerrin, former art director of the Youngstown Vindicator and head of Triad Production Group, a division of 21 WFMJ, for producing this podcast. Robert designed the book No Holds Barred. We also thank Andy Kunkel, technical director of Triad, for making sure we were all in focus.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. It was
Thank
very
you.
good.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Well, if people don't react hearing the things you have talked about, then those people don't have any souls, because,